Good evening, tubers. Matt M. Roy back once again. Well, I was going to do a vlog today, but unfortunately that did not pan out. I had started to record it, and then the day started getting away from me and blah, 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 blah. You guys don't want to hear about it. But anyway, I figured I'd give you guys something tonight, and it is going to be a live stream. This is one I've been wanting to do for a while. It's an update to a live stream that I did, probably 6 months ago, and basically referring to reselling. And by reselling, I mean basically buying items. It doesn't have to be in any particular place, but in my case, it's usually garage sales, thrift stores, auctions, things like that, and reselling them on things like Craigslist, Facebook, OfferUp, all the different ones out there. What am I missing? Let Go, which is one I don't usually have a lot of good luck with. But anyway, I want to give you guys some more tips because I've been doing this now for about 2 to 3 years. And yes, primarily my reselling is of computer systems, usually desktops, sometimes laptops, but I am venturing out into other types of items. And I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys a few items that I'm about to list to give you an idea of some things to look out for. So let me go ahead and pull these down real quick. Probably should have did this before, but that's okay. I'm doing it now. Hope everybody's doing well out there. So we got 4 watchers. Chris Bartlett's here, Eric Brunhammer, George Blakely. Oh, the usual suspects are here. By the way, I wanted to let you guys know I bought this shirt at a garage sale the other day. Now, this is not something I am going to be reselling because this is actually my high school team shirt. We were called the WB Bruins, or the Western Branch Bruins, because that's actually the high school that I went to. And I never owned a shirt from our team. This was our football team. And it's kind of sad, but the reason I never owned one was because they never had my size. In high school, I wore like a 3 and 4X in T-shirts. And they just never had my size. So believe it or not, this is a large, and I can now fit into my high school football team's shirt. But I digress. Eric's on vacation. Awesome. Yeah, and I fully expect a lot of you not to be here live. But again, I figure you guys will probably watch it in post-production. So let me show you a few of the other items that are selling really, really well this time of year. And you're probably not going to be surprised at the first ones, but the first item I'm going to show you is the Texas Instrument calculators. Now, I have 2 of them right here. These ones are both TI-83 pluses, I believe. That's a TI-83 plus, and that's a TI-83 plus. Now, believe it or not, at least in my area, you can pick these up at your local thrift stores or garage sales for pennies on the dollar. I think I got these for about $3 or $4 a piece on average. During back to school, even these older ones sell really well because high school students, believe it or not, will still use these. I can actually get between $30 to $40 a piece for these. Probably more in the $30 range for the TI-83s, but sometimes I'll find the TI-86s and the TI-89 graphing calculators, and those do bring every bit of $40 to $60. Next, we're going to go with something a little bit retro. I've been finding quite a few of these, a lot of times new in box like this one. This is Billy, or Big Mouth Billy Bass, the singing sensation. Sings 2 songs. This is the original one that was as seen on TV from, let's see, what year was this? We get a date on here. 2000. So this was right around the year 2000. The 2 songs on here, Take Me to the River and Don't Worry, Be Happy. You remember, take me to the river, put me in the water. But These originally sold for $20. You can see the price right there, 20 bucks. And these are selling on eBay now for about $60 to $80. And sometimes if they're new in the box, like this one is, you can sell them for closer to 100. So you want to keep your eye out there for unique items, things that at the time were kind of gimmicky, but now people remember from their childhood. Because remember, this is getting to be on about 20 years old. And believe it or not, people are nostalgic for this kind of stuff. It's not just your VCRs and your tape decks. It's these gimmicky things like that, too. So I got this one for, I think, $5. Yeah, $5 at the thrift store a while back. I just haven't had a chance to list it for sale yet. Eric goes, I've been seeing people with a little programming knowledge make them work with Amazon Alexa. I have no idea what you're talking about, buddy. But you got to remember, we're here mainly for talking about reselling, and that is not really anything specific. The nice thing about the reselling game is you can pretty much resell what you're passionate about. If there's an item that you like, albeit electronics, sports cards, tchotchkes, dolls, whatever it is, find what you like, and chances are there'll be somebody out there that likes the same thing. Okay, another thing that I've been finding quite a bit at the garage sales are the Setplex boxes. This is the Setplex SP110. It's kind of like a set-top box. I think that certain cable companies use these, maybe like, what is it, Spectrum or something like that. But these things are really cheap when I find them. I get these all day long at garage sales for about $4 to $5 a piece. And if I look this one up, this is the Setplex SP110. And you go into the shopping. Is that the 110? These are selling on Amazon for about $36 plus $19 shipping, and you know that you can get a little extra money for shipping. That's the way a lot of people do it, unfortunately. So I'd say you'd average selling these about $40 a piece. Now you got to remember, with stuff like this, you do want to make sure that it is new in box, because if these were activated, then chances are they're not going to work. This one is missing its packaging, but I have verified that it was never activated. So just be careful with that, because set-top boxes can be really, really weird that way. If they were activated by the cable company and they weren't deactivated when they were taken out of service, then you may not be able to use them again. It's the same principle when you have a phone that's iCloud locked or Android locked. All right, so I see we have a lot of people commenting here. Let me see. Tyler asks, "How you doing?" I'm doing just fine, Tyler. Thought we'd go ahead and do a quick live stream tonight about reselling, and that's what we're talking about tonight: reselling. So you can ask other questions, but they're not going to be answered tonight. Tonight's live stream is about reselling, the types of items that you may be able to purchase cheaply from garage sales, thrift stores, things like that, and then resell on these other platforms to make a profit. Couple of tips and tricks. One thing, don't let people push you around. Whenever you list an item, when you list an item, you want to go ahead and ask a little bit more for that item than you're expecting to get. Let's face it, everybody wants a bargain. So if you have an item like this, say this particular item is worth $80, and you can get that, ask $100 for it, because somebody's going to ask you about it, and chances are they're going to offer you $80, and then you go ahead and say, yeah, I'll take your $80. But if you start at that price, then people are going to want to bargain you down even more, and that'll eat into your profit margin. So just be cognizant of the fact that everybody's out there looking for a bargain, and in that case, you want to make sure you raise the price just a little bit. Looks like everybody, let's see, Chris Bartlett, Facebook Marketplace is here in Australia. It's free. And Tyler goes, Facebook is the way to go. I absolutely agree with that. The trend is definitely pushing towards Facebook Marketplace over things like Craigslist, and even OfferUp and Let Go are not doing too great right now. In my experience, I would say 70% of my sales are through the Facebook Marketplace, maybe 10% Craigslist, 10% OfferUp, and then the other 10% is like a combination of local personal ads or personal, paper sales, and maybe Let Go. Though in my area, honestly, Let Go is probably the worst of them. I get a lot of people on there that really, really can't afford my item. Like I'll have people message me about a computer that I've listed, say, for $200, and they'll say, "Look, I can give you $60 for it," and I'll say, "I'm sorry, I can't. That's way too low." And then one of two things will happen: either they won't answer me back when I say no, the least I'll take is like $160, or they'll answer me back and be really rude about it, almost like, well, how dare you not take my offer? That's a fair price. So just be cognizant of the fact that at least if you live in my area, the eastern, southeast part of the United States, Let Go is kind of iffy right now. Tyler goes, I've never heard of any of them. The only ones I know is Facebook, Craigslist, and eBay. Yeah, the OfferUp and Let Go are apps. You can only access them through your phone. So basically, if you don't have a smartphone or you don't like doing business through apps on your smartphone, then you're probably not going to be using either of those. I don't know why people always try to call me when I'm doing a live stream. It happens all the time. Who is this? Somebody who wants a computer. And that's another thing I've noticed. Hang on a sec. I can't talk and type at the same time. It's really weird. I'll get people that message me for an item through the Facebook Marketplace, like this person just did, and instead of messaging me, they'll just try to do a video call, and I'm like, that's kind of pushy, wouldn't you say? I mean, I don't know you from Adam, and you're going to try to do a video conference with me. People like that, I'll message back and I'll be really nice. But if they keep trying to video conference me, I'll be like, no, that's just not going to happen. It's too weird. And I get it. Some people want to be really careful. They want to know who they're dealing with. But I don't know, maybe it's just my shyness, but I just really, really don't like doing that. Everybody's trying to message me right now. And that's another thing we've been having issues with is telemarketers. How many of you out there have problems with telemarketers? They probably want to see the computer, but they're downstairs. Hey, yeah, that's true. And you can. That's another great I can't even think right now. This is on the blink again. That's another great point. If you have your cell phone, you can conference them and you can actually show them the computer working. So in that case, I would definitely agree with you, Chris. That is a really good use of the Facebook video conferencing system. Sorry about this, guys. All right, moving on. So we got 8 people here and 3 watchers. Awesome. Cameron Clark goes, you look good in yellow, Matt. like a cool poached egg. Yeah, it does kind of look like that, doesn't it? I mean, it is kind of egg colored. You maybe weren't here when I said this, but this is actually my school's football team, and I was never able to have a shirt of theirs because when I was in high school, I was way too big. I wore like a 3 or a 4X. This I actually picked up at a garage sale. And that's another great item for you guys out there that are interested in starting the reselling game like I do. Clothes. I know a lot of you out there know quite a bit about clothes, and I'm learning. I'm not great at it yet, but I am learning. You can find some great deals at garage sales. Matter of fact, most of the garage sales that I go to in my area, the clothing is 50 cents to $1 for like t-shirts and even dress shirts sometimes, and maybe $2 a piece for pants. And that's usually for all different kinds of pants. We're talking about name brands, Tommy Hilfiger, Cartier, what was the other one? Pierre Cardin. As a matter of fact, my leather jacket I bought yesterday, if you guys watched the vlog, was a Pierre Cardin, and I got that at a CHKD thrift store for $25. If you know the market that you're trying to get into, then it makes it really easy. You know what the prices are, you know what the items are worth, and you can look at your different thrift stores, secondhand shops, garage sales. It's really fun, and the nice thing about it is the family can get involved in this as well. I love going to garage sales. My mom loves going to garage sales. Joshua Bowman asks, where do you get your computers from? Many different places, but lately it's been from companies that have been downsizing. I reach out locally to various businesses, and I have feelers out, if you will. I have friends that have friends that have friends that will come back to me and say, hey, I know so-and-so company is either downsizing or going out of business or upgrading their IT equipment. And what I do is I go in there, I look at what they have, and I offer them a bulk price for everything. And we come to a deal real quickly. I buy it, and that's generally how I get my computers. I prefer doing that over going to thrift stores because that's a lot of time, a lot of money. The more you can buy in one place, the better, because at the end of the day, time is money. Chris Barlow goes, I like the leather jacket too. Yeah, I'll get up and show you guys that in a minute. For those of you that didn't see the vlog, I found a really nice leather coat at a CHKD thrift store yesterday for about $25, and it is a Pierre Cardin. And again, when it comes to clothes, you want to make sure that you know your market, just like when it comes to electronics. So whatever you're passionate about, look for those items, buy them, and give it a try. Now, you don't have to do this full time. I didn't start out doing this full time. For the longest time, YouTube was basically my only source of income. Now this is steadily rising. I mean, I don't make a lot of money doing this, but it is improving my lifestyle. It's increasing I'm increasing the bottom line every time, and I learn as I go along. Karen McCloud, hey Matt, MB and I are out cruising watching this. Awesome. I'm so glad that you guys were able to make it. I kind of a weird time, but I had to kind of fit it into my schedule. And that's another thing. When you do reselling, you need to make sure that you are available on Saturdays for those garage sales, because you are going to find some of the best deals at garage sales. And a few top tips when it comes to garage sales: make sure that you get out early. The two best times to go to garage sales are really early in the morning, 6 to maybe 8 in the morning. Get there before the crowd does. That way you can get the best deals. And then also towards the end of the day, we're talking maybe 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon, because at that point, sales have pretty much stopped. And the people that are having the sales are looking to unload everything. I've known people, I've never done it myself, but I've known people that will go, that All they'll do is they'll go out to garage sales towards the end. And what they'll do is they'll go over to the person and say, look, I'll give you $100 for everything you have left. And like 8, 9 times out of 10, they'll take it. So those are the two best things I could tell you to do when going to garage sales. Yeah, we're talking about reselling. Take a look at the thumbnail. That'll kind of explain it to you. Oh, this person is a riot, I'm telling you. There are a lot of ups to the reselling game, but the real big downer is having to deal with the public. You will get people that are just bat crap crazy. I'm telling you that right now. Right now, I'm actually messaging with a person that is, I would almost put into that category. This person keeps going back and forth. Well, are you gonna bring it to me, or do you want me to come and pick it up? Are you sure? I'd really prefer you to bring it to me. It'll happen, and you got to know what to do. You need to be nice, yes, but you can't be overly nice, because if you are overly nice, people will take advantage of that situation. It happens. It's happened to me so many times. Don't be rude, but be firm. If somebody is giving you a hard time, like they can't make up their mind, or they say, well, can we meet? I think I can meet you on this day. Then just move on. It's not worth your time, and it's not worth your frustration, to be honest with you. Eric goes, I had to deal with the public for 14 hours yesterday. Oof. I remember those times. I had those times in my life, and I never want them again. Honestly, I love doing what I do now and working that close to the public. I would pull every last hair out of my head within a month. I honestly, Eric, I have major respect for you, buddy. I don't know how you do it in that job. And I see the answer right there. That's why so many people turn to alcohol or drugs. And it's really sad, because when I think 50 years ago, even 40 years ago, it wasn't like this. It wasn't high stress like it is nowadays. And a lot of it has to do with just our lifestyle. I mean, everything is so fast paced. Go, 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 go. We need it now. I mean, it's the now generation, but we got to look back to the way things were. And I even talk about going back to the times when we used to barter, and there really isn't anything wrong with bartering either. I mean, I do that at times when I sell things on these platforms. I may have somebody that says, hey, look, I don't have any cash, but I have another item I want to trade. And I'll usually say, okay, what's your trade? And if it's something I'm interested in, then yeah, we'll trade. Or maybe somebody needs an item that I have, but they don't have any cash on them. So I'll give them the item, and they'll do a job for me. So bartering is another good option too, but that's not really what we're talking about here. We're talking more about reselling. Eric goes, there are times that I think I should start drinking or smoking. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I've seen what it does, what it's done to members of my own family. It really isn't worth it, honestly. Chris Baller goes, we should go back to the 70s. I loved it back when I was only 20. I was not around in the 70s. I was barely around for the 80s. I'm a 90s kid for the most part. And by the 90s, the 80s were really fun. The 90s started getting a little more stressful. And then by the early 2000s, after 9/11, I mean, everything just went. But it is what it is. Joshua Bowman asks, do you think catching deals on eBay and reselling an OfferUp is a good idea? It's a good question. Generally not. And the reason being is you can actually buy things locally on these platforms for less than you would find them on eBay. So even if you catch that really, really good deal on eBay, chances are the item is not going to sell for much more than you purchased it for on eBay. As a matter of fact, I usually recommend, if people are going to do that, you do the opposite. You basically buy the items locally on things like the marketplace to sell on eBay. But you never know. I mean, if you catch the right deal, yeah, anything's possible. And there you go. We're talking about bartering. Eric goes, I'm going to do work for a guy who lives next to my job in exchange for some truck parts. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Bartering is awesome, in my opinion. Robert Jones has dealt with the public for 14 years in customer service. Yeah, I mean, that's why I do what I do now. And again, I absolutely love it. I've got one more item to show you guys. I've actually showed you guys this before, but a lot of people that I know doing the reselling game, their bread and butter is video games. Now, I do see a lot of things like this at garage sales. This is a Nintendo DS Lite. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I should mute that before I start this. I just forget. This is a Nintendo DS Lite. White one. It's got maybe 10 or 11 games with a charger. I think I paid all of $5 or $6 for this. Now this I can list locally and sell for about $60 to $80. So not as big of a profit margin as the computers are, but this is another option. And you see these things all the time. And you may think to yourself, well, it's a Nintendo DS Lite. I mean, it's pushing 10 years old. Who's going to want it? You would be surprised. A lot of people do like these older systems. Now, if you could find something like a Game Boy Advance SP, especially the one with the brighter backlit screen, not the sidelit screen, those will demand a lot of money too. So again, a lot of great options at the garage sales. Joshua Bowman says, for example, I'll go to newly listed items and keep refreshing and finding a 2010 MacBook for 130, 140 and sell it for 200 locally. Well, there you go. I mean, if you can make a decent profit, now to me, I need to make a little bit more profit than that. I mean, you're talking after fees and everything, maybe you're making $50. If you're good with that, that's fine. But for me, the rule of thumb for me when it comes to reselling, I need to be able to make a 50% profit. It means I have to be able to double my money on whatever item I have, whether it be a game console, a computer, a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, whatever it is, I need to double my money. That's the only way that it is worth me dealing with that particular item. Eric goes, off topic, but I need to give my computer a break. I've been ripping DVDs into it with Handbrake for like 4 hours straight. That'll taxi the CPU. All right, Eric, that's cool. We'll let you go. All right, tubers, I am going to have to let everybody go because I have some people coming over. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Not only that, got some really good information. Please continue to like and subscribe. I will do more live streams like this on this topic and this series because I think a lot of people are really interested in this, maybe not as a full-time job, but at the very least as a hobby. So please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.